Hey everyone, it's Matthew here at Earthworks. I want to share some insider knowledge, a little bit of a secret for some. I want to talk about how when you come to Earthworks, just maybe one time in the spring to get all your flowers or your shrubs or different plants, if you come just like one time or maybe twice in the beginning of March, maybe into April, you're going to be missing out on a lot of things that are coming into the garden center. So here in Florida, we don't have everything from the farms available all at once like garden centers do perhaps up north or further north up here. A lot of people who grew up in the north and have recently moved to the south are coming in once a year and they're like, where's this, where's this, where's this? And what they may not realize that the farmers here have their crops staggered all throughout the year. So I'm going to show you some things that are popping right now. And there were things that were here in March and April that are no longer here. So I guess we're going to have to continue this series all the way into the beginning of next spring. But what I'm going to be doing is showing you different things that are happening, not only on the flower tables, but also on the tarps where we keep our shrubs. We get different shrubs in at different times of year, different types of trees. And also we have a little bit of a botanical garden. It's kind of small, it's very modest, but we do have plantings and things happening around the landscape here at Earthworks. So stay tuned. So in May, we have planted in the garden Asiatic lilies. May, they'll be blooming. We also have gladiolus. May, come see these in May in the garden. In March, the amaryllis are blooming now. They're just beautiful green leaves, although we do have a late bloomer here, so we're gonna have a flower perhaps in May or June. If you come super early in spring, you probably won't see Japanese maples because they don't have their leaves yet. So if you're interested in seeing Japanese maples, we bring these in a little bit later in the season, April, May, and we'll have them throughout the remainder of the summertime. But they will not be here in winter generally because they don't have their leaves on them, and everyone wants to know what their leaves look like. If you come too early in the spring, you're not going to see hydrangeas here in Florida. We wait until they have their leaves on them and when they're blooming. So right now we got the Big Daddy, super big leaves, super big blossoms. Yes. And we also have the Summer Crush, an absolutely gorgeous hydrangea. This is a endless summer series hydrangea, and these things will bloom all the way into the fall. But they're not going to be here in March. If you only come in March, you're gonna miss out on these beauties too. Look at these beautiful Canna Lilies. We don't see these until like April at the earliest, May, and then into June, July, throughout the summertime. But if you come too early, and only early in March, you're not gonna see these beauties. These cannas are hardy perennials here in Florida. It is a must-have in the garden. Look at these little beauties. We planted over 400 sunflowers here at Earthworks. They're all over the property, out front on Beach Boulevard, throughout the interior of the gardens here. We wanted to try something a little bit different to catch your attention. If you came here in March, you would not have seen the sunflowers. Also, flowering trees. We get different types of flowering trees throughout the season. Early in the season, crepe myrtles aren't blooming yet, so we don't generally keep them in stock. But here in May, June, July, throughout the summer, we're gonna have our crepe myrtles. This is a standard oleander. These things are as tough as nails. They will go through any condition that Florida can throw at them. I've seen them take hard frosts. I've seen them take droughts. They grow in the dune sand. If you've never grown an oleander before, these oleander trees are perfect. We also have some amazing powder puff trees. These are a little pink flower with a little bit of white highlighted, and the long stringy hair-like flowers are very attractive. This is in a bush form right now. It can be trained up into a tree if you just simply prune some of the lower branches and crop it up. These grow extremely fast and they bloom off and on all throughout the year. All right, we got some Vitex trees here. These are multi-trunk Vitex. This happens to be the Shoal Creek variety. If you only come in winter or spring, you're not going to see these things with foliage, and you're certainly not going to see them blooming. These are magnificent. They attract all sorts of beneficial pollinators, including hummingbirds and butterflies. They really are a nice alternative to crepe myrtle. If you're looking for something different, the Vitex is a very hardy tree for our zone. And here we are in the greenhouse. There are always new varieties of plants coming in the greenhouse. It is my favorite thing to order are houseplants here for Earthworks. Every time I look at an availability from one of the growers, I'm always seeing something new. We're making orders all the time. So come in frequently, check out what we have in inventory, and you're going to be amazed. Sometimes there's going to be that one plant that you haven't been able to find. We'll have it tucked in somewhere, so look closely. We got plants all throughout here. I want to introduce a quick one here. This is the philodendron goldii. Y'all should look this up. It's philodendron, G-O-E-L-D-I-I. Look this up on the internet. It's actually some controversy over the name. Is it a philodendron or is it not? All right, you guys can comment below.